the reason Drake dropped these songs, the best in the world pack, was because his Toronto Raptors won the NBA Finals, and people were expecting maybe an album drop. There was a lot of people on Twitter posting some very funny gifs and memes talking about Drake getting the OVO writers into the
Boot
booth.
camp.
And, yeah. But we did get two songs. These seem like songs that were already finished, and he was just kind of holding on to in some respect, and good excuse to drop them. Omerta and Money in the Grave. What do you think of these songs?
Yeah, it's funny because, as you said, these are definitely just in the can already. Notice that the only basketball reference on either of these songs is to LeBron buying lots of property in Brentwood. No reference to Kawhi or Red Van Vliet, which would be much more timely references to the guys actually on his team, which is just funny. But what do you expect? This reminds me a lot of about year and a few months ago last year when he dropped the Scary Hours EP, which was God's Plan, Diplomatic Community. Obviously, God's Plan, big single that he then put on Scorpion. But I don't think either of these songs probably make it onto a project. I mean, we kind of expect him to release something this year just because he's released something every year since the past 5 years, I think. So we'll release some kind of project. And we know we talked about Scorpion. He's not really been curating his projects too much, really, given their overall length and just repetitiveness in spots. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is the last we really see these songs. I don't expect any of these to be the next God's Plan or anything like that. But I think they're fun songs, and that's kind of just what Drake represents. Is he can just make really solid tracks that don't sound special in the Drake canon, but are still pretty solid rap songs at the end of the day. So I like both of them. What about you?
Yeah, I like Money in the Grave a lot more than Omerta. Omerta, I think, is still really good. It's Drake just being super braggadocious. He calls out Pusha on it.
That's amazing, by the way.
What was the line again?
Last year, haters really feel like they rode on me. Last year, haters got hot because they told on me. Shout out Pusha T. Love it.
Actually, funny. I was watching. I forgot the name of the show, but it's the David Letterman talk show on Netflix.
My next guest needs no introduction.
Yeah. And Kanye was on it, which is actually a pretty interesting interview. I recommend watching it if you like Kanye at all and find him to be an entertaining public figure. But he brought up Drake, but in the most roundabout way. He's like, there's this guy I can't talk about. David Letterman is like, why? And he's like, we might have had a little beef last year. So pretty interesting that Kanye's camp is taking that route of can't talk about it, but Drake's out here calling out Pusha, and pretty interesting. Anyways, Money in the Grave though. Rick Ross, when he slides into that track, man, it's like fucking butter, like just melting butter. It's like so perfect. And Rick Ross continues to be on the heater of like guest verses, dude. Just every time he drops it, he kills it.
Three big ones in the last year or so. Hard Piano, Birds, and now this one. You mentioned this when we talked about Denzel's album, of course, because that was really cool. Miami on Miami feature. But yeah, I mean, like J. Cole's getting all the attention for lots of great features, and he's put out more than Ross. So that makes sense. But yeah, man, it's cool to see late period Rose still not just relevant, but contributing in a positive way. It's awesome.
Rose. Any last thoughts on these Drake songs before we move on to some albums?
No, I don't think either of these is a big hit, but they'll get lots of streams just because they're the new Drake stuff out, and he'll probably let these simmer for a while, and then we'll hear word on the actual next project.
And if you have Spotify and want to stream these Drake songs, you should go to our Nowstalgia Best of 2019 and listen to Money in the Grave, which was just added on there this morning.